Today I'm going to show you Have I Been Pwned. This site is super cool and it lets you check to see if an email account has ever been involved in a data leak. You can also see if a password has ever been compromised and sign up for notifications so that you can be alerted if your information is involved in a leak in the future. Enjoy. Okay, so after you've navigated to haveibeenpwned.com, enter in your email address. Now I'm blurring mine out for this example. Once you've entered in your email, click on Pwned, and it's going to tell you, oh no, pwned. And I can see that I was pwned in 7 data breaches. So I'm going to scroll down below the OnePass advertisement, and I can see the different breaches that I was pwned in. It's going to give me a little bit of details on each one. So here we can see in Adobe in October 2013, I was involved in a data breach there. Cove, which to be honest, I don't even know what that is, but I was involved in a data breach there. Gravatar, again, not sure what that one is. MGM Resorts, July 2019. Nitro, Trillion, and Verifications.io. So these are all the data breaches that I was involved in, or my email address was involved in. So, and each breach will tell me what data was compromised. Here I can see that email address, password hints, passwords, and username. So that's scary that my password and username were compromised. And it's going to tell me that for each individual breach that has happened. Now, if we scroll farther down, it's got some cool statistics on the different breaches. This is showing how many different accounts they've tracked as being pwned. It has some information on largest breaches. Now, if you click on one of these breaches, it's going to give you a little bit more information on that specific breach. It takes you to the top of the page. Sometimes it doesn't take you to the top of the page, so you might have to scroll up. In this case, it automatically did. So here it gives me a little bit of information on that particular breach. So that's the kind of cool portion of the site. Now the next section that I want to talk about is the Notify Me. So this section is going to, when you click on the tab, it's going to autofill with whatever email address you entered in the previous section. You hit I'm not a robot, and then Notify Me of pwnage. This section is going to alert you if a breach that you were involved with occurs from this day forward. It's going to send you an email and let you know. And now that's important because you want to know as soon as possible if you were involved in a data breach so that you can change usernames, change passwords, and keep yourself secure. Now, not all companies are legally obligated to report when they've been breached, but not every company does that in a timely manner. And sometimes when they do report a breach, they downplay the seriousness of it. So I really like this Notify section because I'm getting information as soon as this site's aware of it, and I can take action. The next section is called Domain Search. Now this one's kind of cool because you can enter in your domain and it will search for any email addresses associated with that domain that have been breached. Now this, I'm not going to go through this tool. It's a little bit more complex. You can't just enter in your domain name. You need to verify that you're authorized on that domain, either by changing some DNS records on your domain registrar or having access to one of the admin accounts like sysadmin@ or postmaster@. So I'm not going to go through that today, but if it's something you're interested in, I recommend contacting your IT department to help you out with this. The next section is just more informational. Who's been pwned? This is a listing of all the data breaches that Have I Been Pwned is aware of. And you can scroll through this and look at some different data breaches that have occurred. Now there's quite a few. I mean, this list is extensive. If we scroll down, I mean, there's so many listed on here, which is kind of neat. You can search by one. You know, if you want to look at the LinkedIn data breach, I can search LinkedIn and it gives you some information on the LinkedIn data breach, which is really kind of cool. It shows how many accounts were compromised, what kind of data was compromised. Now, some of these are going to show you a little yellow icon next to the company name. So if you scroll all the way to the bottom of this page, you can see a legend of what all those icons mean. So the question mark means unverified breached. may be sourced from elsewhere. That's not really very descriptive, but what they've done is you can click on the link and that's going to take you to the FAQ page and tell you what specifically an unverified breach is. So that's really cool. It takes you right to the FAQ page. It has a lot of helpful information. I find it's really interesting to spend some time in here learning about some of this stuff. So the next section, I really like this section. At the ITCO, we get asked about password requirements a lot. Now that's a topic for another time, but what I really like about this is I can input a current password of mine to see if it has been compromised. What's really cool though is I can also input a password that I'm thinking of using to see if it has been compromised in the past. This is important because databases of previously successful account breaches are bought and sold on the dark web. So if a password is listed here and it's showing as compromised, there's a very good chance that it is on a database and is being used 24/7 by bots on the internet trying to access accounts. So if you put a password in here and it's showing that it's been compromised in the past, you definitely don't want to use that password. So I'm going to pop in one of my passwords that I use, click on pwned, and good news, no pwnage found. So I'm really happy about that. My password is secure. Just for the purposes of showing you what it looks like for a compromised password, I'm going to put in I love you and click on pwned. So it's all lowercase, I love you. Oh no, pwned. We can see that this password has been seen 2,307,982 times before. So this is definitely not a password that you want to use. So you want to stay away from, basic phrases, dictionary terms, things like that. Again, that's a video for another time, so I don't want to get too far into that. But just wanted to show you guys that example. So that's it. That's it for showing you guys the Have I Been Pwned website. There's a ton of stuff you can do on this site. It's really fun to mess around with and play around with on. So have a look at it.